Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj Ki
Jai.
Jai Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhariju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Statara Sata Shrimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Statara Sata Shrimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sri Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Or Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Atha Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavams Sja Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Dem Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivashikam Vitam Sja Om Jnanatimarandasya Jnanajana Shalakya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurava Bhistam Supurkam Guruganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipunam Shri Rupa Bhatanugam Govindabhidam Ujvalam Bharatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Vande Vishwagurun Shadivyad Bhagavat Premnawe Bija Pranam Vanshakopatarubyascha Kripasindubhya Patitanam Pavenibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaurata Vishay Nama. So, hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada. This is Madhya-lila, chapter 22, the process of devotional service. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explaining to Sanatan Goswami, Abhidheya, the satisfaction of one's relationship with the Supreme Lord. Naisham, text number 53. Naisham matis tavad urukramangrim sprishati anartha bhagamo yadartha mahiyasam para rajobhishekam niskinshananam navranita yavat. Unless human society accepts the dust of the lotus feet of great Mahatmas, devotees who have nothing to do with material possessions, mankind cannot turn its attention to the lotus feet of Krishna. Those lotus feet vanquish all the unwanted, miserable conditions of material life. This verse appears in the Srimad Bhagavatam. When the great sage Narada was giving instructions to Maharaj Yudhisthira, he narrated the activities of Prahlad Maharaj. This verse was spoken by Prahlad Maharaj to his father, Hiranyakashipu, the king of demons. Prahlad Maharaj had informed his father of the 9 basic processes of Bhakti Yoga, explaining that whoever takes to these processes to be considered a highly learned scholar. Hiranyakashipu, however, did not like his son to talk about devotional service. Therefore, he immediately called Prahlad's teacher, Shanda. The teacher explained that he had not taught devotional service to Prahlad, but the boy was naturally inclined that way. At that time, Hiranyakashipu became very angry and asked Prahlad why he had become a Vaishnava. In answer to this question, Prahlad Maharaj recited this verse to the effect that one cannot become the Lord's devotee without receiving the mercy and blessings of another devotee. Naisham matis tavad urukramangrim sprishati anartam pagamo yadarta mahiyasam pararajobhishekam niskinchananam navranita yavat. Unless one accepts the dust of the lotus feet of great Mahatmas, devotees who have nothing to do with material possessions, one cannot turn one's attention to the lotus feet of Krishna. Those lotus feet vanquish all the unwanted, miserable conditions of material life. Sadhusanga sarvashastri koi, labamatra sadhusange sarvasiddhi hoy. The verdict of all revealed scriptures is that by even a moment's association with a pure devotee, one can attain success. So here it says, Sadhusanga sarvashastri koi, lavamatra. Lavamatra is a very short period of time. How long is a lava?
They say 1/11th of a second.
Okay. So 1/11th of a second of association with a great soul, how can you attain all perfection? You can't even calculate. I mean, this is the amount of time that, they use to time super fast runners at 1/11th of a second. They divide it into very short periods of time. But there is a term, spontaneous combustion. Spontaneous combustion is just like a spark in a room full of gas. It will explode. Just a spark immediately. So we can say that if one is properly prepared and surrendered, then to associate with a great soul, you can take the devotional service immediately by the mercy of that Vaishnava. So the verdict of all revealed scriptures is that by even a moment's association with a pure devotee, one can attain all success. So that's really our hope. Our hope is that we're coming in contact with great souls, and then we can, by their association, engage ourselves in devotional service. And it's always like that. It's always like that. It will always depend on having the association of Vaishnavas. You can't really engage in devotional service just by your own endeavor. You see, some devotees, they don't see the need for a spiritual master. They chant on beads, they do everything. But that's really not what we're all about. We're getting the holy name from a Vaishnava, from our Guru. Like we hear the story of, what is it? Narottam Das Thakur, and is it Narottam and Lochan Das Thakur? Is that right?
Perhaps Lokanath?
Pardon me, Lokanath. And he is cleaning up his urine, and every day that saint would go, and when he's old, someone's cleaning up after him. And he didn't know who that was. But it's Narottam. And when he was, we can say, reluctant to accept any disciples, but by the mercy, but ultimately, he favored Narottam Das Thakur, who was, endeavoring in so many ways just to satisfy spiritual master. And by that association, one gets devotional service. Without the connection with the Vaishnava, there's no possibility. That sound system is up too high, because when we open the door, turn that down. Tulayama lavinapi nasvargam napunarbhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya martyanam kim utashiya The value of a moment's association with a devotee of the Lord cannot be compared even to the attainment of the heavenly planets of liberation from matter And what to speak of worldly benedictions in the form of material prosperity, which is for those who are meant for death. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam. This verse concerns the Vedic rites and sacrifices performed by the great sages of Naimisharanya, headed by Shonaka Rishi. The sages pointed out that association with the devotee for even less than a second is beyond comparison to 1,000 Vedic rituals and sacrifices, elevation to heavenly planets, or merging into the existence of the Supreme. Krishna Kripalu Arjunare Lakya Korea Jagatere Raki Achan Upadesha Diya. Krishna is so merciful that simply by aiming his instructions at Arjuna, he has given perfection to the whole world. So Krishna is speaking to Arjuna, but we are hearing the conversation. And Arjuna, you can say he's momentarily placed in a state where he is inquiring, seems to be forgetful, but that's divine arrangement. And we're the ones who are hearing the Lord's instructions to Arjuna, so we're benefiting. Arjuna heard a short period of time before the battle, then he resumed his position, fighting in the battle. And we hear in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita that he's overcome by sentiment, by a sense of that he can't tolerate that he's going to be killing family members and friends and everything like this. So he's overcome. But that feeling is dispelled very quickly. So Arjuna, he's placed in a position where he's asking questions, he's inquiring from the Lord. And he even accepts his friend Krishna, saying, "Now I am a disciple surrendered at your feet. Please instruct me," which is an unusual position considering their relationship of very close friendship. You know, the Lord is not accustomed to a close friend like that will say, "I'm your disciple, please instruct me." So he instructs Arjuna, but the instruction is really, we could say, meant for us. Sarva guyatamam bhuya shrinu me paramam vacha ishto si me dridhamiti tato vakshami te hidam manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskaru mamve vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me. Because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. Always think of me and become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. So this is from Bhagavad Gita. But Srila Sridhar Maharaj comments about how in other faiths we don't hear where the Lord is speaking so directly in his own favor, without any kind of pretension. He's just saying, become my devotee, surrender unto me, bow down before me, and this is for your benefit. So, Srila Sridhar Maharaj commented that the Lord is shamelessly advocating that we do this. We don't find that kind of instructions elsewhere. But that is the special mercy of the Lord. Purva agya veda dharma karma yoga gyan savasari seshe agyam malaban. Although Krishna previously explained the proficiency of executing Vedic rituals, performing fruit of performing fruitive activity is enjoined in the Vedas, practicing yoga and cultivating jnana. These last instructions are most powerful and stand above all the others. So many persons read Bhagavad Gita and draw different conclusions from it. We can say, although many subjects are explained, ultimately every chapter leads to understanding the process of devotional service. It's like it's, and as Krishna says, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Gyanavam Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sadurlava. After many, many births and deaths, one who's actually come to the stage of full realization, complete knowledge, they surrender unto me. And such a great soul is very rare. But yet, Krishna is explaining many subjects in Bhagavad Gita. Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. But he says, ultimately, if you come to devotion, you've understood the message. And we were talking the other day, Sarvadharmam parityaja mamikam sharanam vraja. Srila Maharaj comments on that verse. He says that Krishna is saying, if you just transfer everything to my account, then I will take care of everything. And the Guru Maharaj also comments that by putting everything into your Navadip account, to the worship of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, everything will be mysteriously transferred to Vrindavan account.
Wow.
Yes, it's all included. It's all included with. If you get Mahaprabhu, if you get Gauranga Mahaprabhu, you get everything. E agya bole bhaktera shraddha jadi hoy sarvakarma tyaga kore se Krishna bhajai. The devotee has faith in the strength of this order. He worships Lord Krishna and gives up all other activities. Tavat karmani kurvita na nirvidyeta yavata matkata shravanado va shraddha yavana jayate. As long as one is not satiated by fruitive activity and has not awakened one's taste for devotional service by Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, one has to act according to the regulative principles of the Vedic injunctions. As long as one is not satiated, that means satisfied or full with fruitive activity, and has not awakened one's taste for devotional service by Shravanam Kirtanam, one has to act according to the regulative principles of the Vedic injunctions. So ultimately we say the Vedic injunctions are meant to come to the point of understanding one's relationship with Krishna and acting in devotional service for the satisfaction of the Lord. So we have this activity here called Govinda Mela. And if one is actually involved in the worship of Srila Govinda Maharaj, then one will get some place in the service of the Lord. That was Maharaj's main activity, to engage everyone in a very, he could engage everyone in devotional service. And just like, you can say, just like a jewel has many facets, many different faces, and you can approach from, we can say with Govinda Maharaj, he could approach persons, or they could approach him in many, many different ways, and he could always draw them into some service of the Lord. Now, I'm very happy to see that we have this program, and many of the devotees are coming, and we see the younger devotees are joining, and they're taking the devotional service, and they're participating with enthusiasm in this Govinda Mela, and that's what's very satisfying for us to see that, that the appeal of Srila Govinda Maharaj is still drawing so many persons. And that's really... Anyway, what can I say about this? Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Kohe Sudrida Nisjoy Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. Shraddha is confident, firm faith that by rendering loving service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. Such faith is favorable to the discharge of devotional service. Firm faith and confidence are called Shraddha. When one engages in the Lord's devotional service, one is to be understood to have performed all responsibilities in the material world. One has satisfied one's forefathers, ordinary living entities, and demigods, and is free from all responsibility. Such a person does not need to meet his responsibilities separately. It is automatically done. Fruit of activity, karma, is meant to satisfy the senses of the conditioned soul. However, when one awakens to Krishna consciousness, one does not have to work separately for pious activity. The best achievement of all fruitive activity is detachment from material life, and this detachment is spontaneously enjoyed by the devotee firmly engaged in the Lord's service. Yata taror mula nischanena Yata taror mula nisechanena tripyanti tat skanda bujo pashaka Pranopaharats yatendriyanam tataiva sarvarhanam achutateja yatataror mula nishechanena tripyanti tatskanda bujo pashaka pranopaharats yatendriyanam tataiva sarvarhanam achutateja. By pouring water on the root of a tree, one automatically satisfies the trunk, branches, and twigs. Similarly, by supplying food to the stomach where it nourishes the life air, one satisfies all the senses. In the same way, by worshipping Krishna and rendering him service, one automatically satisfies all the demigods. Shraddhavanjana hoy bhakti adhikari uttama madhyana kanishta shraddha anusari. A faithful devotee is a truly eligible candidate for the loving service of the Lord. According to one's faith, one is classified as a topmost devotee, an intermediate devotee, and an inferior devotee. The word Shraddhavan, faithful, means understanding Krishna to be the summum bonum, the eternal truth and absolute transcendence. If one has full faith in Krishna and confidence in him, one becomes eligible to discharge devotional service confidentially. According to one's faith, one is a topmost, intermediate, or inferior devotee. So, Uttamadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, Kanishthadhikari. The Kanishthadhikari is materialistic devotee and maybe has some realization that Krishna is present on the altar and is to be worshipped, but not so much philosophical understanding, and his faith is limited. But the Madhyamadhikari, the characteristics of the Madhyamadhikari is that he worships the Lord, has friendship with the devotees, preaches to the innocent, and avoids the association of those who are openly inimical to devotional service. And the Uttamadhikari has a realization that everyone is engaged in the plan and service of the Lord in one capacity or another. Either whether it's apparently direct or indirect, but he sees everything that's working by the Lord's arrangement. And so the word Shraddhavan, faithful, means understanding Krishna to be the summum bonum, the eternal truth and absolute transcendence. If one has full faith in Krishna and confidence in him, one becomes eligible to discharge devotional service confidentially. According to one's faith, one is a topmost intermediate or inferior devotee. Shastra Jukte Shunipuna Dritish Shraddhajar Uttamadikari Se Taraye Samsar. One who is expert in logic, argument, in the revealed scripture, and who has firm faith in Krishna is classified as a topmost devotee. He can deliver the whole world. Expert in logic, argument, in the revealed scriptures, and who has firm faith in Krishna. So we heard this previous verse that said Shraddhavan. Shraddhavan Jana Hoy Bhakti Adhikari. So there's emphasis on that word Shraddha. That's really the basis of everything. One's faith. And by that faith, one will come in contact with the spiritual master. One will become initiated by the spiritual master. One will establish friendship with the devotees. By faith, all that will happen. One's material attachments will subside. One will be able to eliminate all impediments in devotional service. All that comes from faith. Shastre Jukto Chanipuna Sarvata Dridanischaya Prodashrado Dikariya Se Bhakta Vutamomata. One who is expert in logic and in understanding the revealed scriptures and who always has firm conviction and deep faith that is not blind is to be considered the topmost devotee in devotional service. Shastra Jukte Nahi Jane Dridhan Shraddhavan Madhyamadikari Se Mahabhagyavan. One who is not very expert in argument and logic based on the revealed scriptures, but who has firm faith is considered a second-class devotee. He also must be considered most fortunate, Madhyamadikari. One who is not very expert in argument and logic based on the revealed scriptures, but who has firm faith is considered a second-class devotee. He must also be considered most fortunate. Yash Shastra Dish Vanipuna Shraddhavan Satu Madhyama. He who does not know scriptural argument very well, but who has firm faith, is called an intermediate or second-class devotee. Jahara Komala Shraddha Se Kanishta Jan Krame Krame Teho Bhakta Hoibe Uttama. One whose faith is soft and pliable is called a neophyte or Kanishta. But by gradually following the process, he will rise to the platform of a first-class devotee. So here, again, it's basing on faith. One whose faith is soft and pliable is called a neophyte. But by gradually following the process, he will rise to the platform of a first-class devotee. Yo bhavet komala shraddha sakanishto nigadyate. One whose faith is not very strong and who is just beginning should be considered a neophyte devotee. Elsewhere, though, we hear the consideration that sometimes this is referring to those who are in the process of engagement. What is the term? We hear about those who are engaged in Vidhi-marg, and then those who are engaged in Raganuga-marg. But one of the considerations that we hear in terms of of neophyte is that one is engaged in the activities of devotional service as given by the scriptures. What's the term? We're engaging in... Huh? No, that's... Vaidhi Margas. That's by so many rules and regulations, right? Vaidhi Marg. And then we're engaged in the process of practicing devotional service. So that is also... my memory is very blank today. I don't know. What's the term? What we always use, that we're engaged in devotional service under the principles of, pardon me?
Sadhana Bhakti?
Sadhana Bhakti. And sometimes it's defined as Sadhana Bhakti. They engage, they say there's parshads and sadhakas. And sadhakas are sometimes defined as those who are neophyte devotees. But they're engaged in the process of sadhana, of practicing devotional service. So I even heard Srila Govinda Maharaj apply the term Kanishta to a person who would be, by our standards, would be seen as a very worshipable devotee. And that person said he was very satisfied to be termed a Kanishta by Srila Govinda Maharaj, because he said it's not an easy thing even to be a Kanishta. And Srila Govinda Maharaj talked about how there was one devotee, he would apply some designation that this person is 5% Vaishnava or 10% Vaishnava. Of course, there's some humor in that. 20% Vaishnava or 50% Vaishnava. So, but even to be considered a small percentage of a Vaishnava it's not a small thing. To have enough shraddha to be able to have faith in the process of devotional service. That's very nice. And Rati prema taratamye bhakta taratama ekadasha skanditara koryache lakana. A devotee is considered superlative or superior according to his attachment and love. In the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the following symptoms have been given. Srila Bhaktivinoda stated that if one has developed faith in Krishna consciousness, one is to be considered an eligible candidate for further advancement in Krishna consciousness. Those who have faith are divided into 3 categories: Uttama, Madhyam, and Kanishta, first class, second class, and neophyte. A first-class devotee has firm conviction in the revealed scriptures and is expert in arguing according to the Shastras. One is firmly convinced of the science of Krishna consciousness. The Madhyamadikari, or second-class devotee, has firm conviction in Krishna consciousness, but he cannot support his conviction by citing Shastric references. The neophyte devotee does not yet have firm faith. In this way, the devotees are typed. The standard of devotion is also categorized in the same way. A neophyte believes that only love of Krishna or Krishna consciousness is very good, but he may not know the basis of pure Krishna consciousness or how one becomes a perfect devotee. Sometimes in the heart of a neophyte, there is attraction for karma, jnana, or yoga. When he is free and transcendental to mixed devotional activity, one becomes a second-class devotee. When he becomes expert in logic and can refer to the Shastras, he becomes a first-class devotee. The devotees are also described as positive, comparative, and superlative in terms of their love and attachment for Krishna. It should be understood that a Madhyamadikari, a second-class devotee, is fully convinced of Krishna consciousness, but cannot support his convictions with Shastric reference. A neophyte may fall down by associating with non-devotees because he is not firmly convinced and strongly situated. The second-class devotee, even though he cannot support his position with Shastric reference, can gradually become a first-class devotee by studying the Shastras and associating with a first-class devotee. However, if the second-class devotee does not advance himself by associating with a first-class devotee, he makes no progress. There is no possibility that a first-class devotee will fall down, even though he may mix with non-devotees to preach. Conviction and faith gradually increase to make one an uttamadhikari, a first-class devotee. So in Bhagavad Gita we hear a conversation where Bhagavanacharya, he has, what is it? I believe it's a younger brother who is an impersonalist, but he can cite the Shastras very well and everything, and he can argue according to Shankaracharya. So he's giving, I guess he's giving lectures. I believe it's on Bhagavatam, and that Bhagavanacharya tells he tells to Swarup Damodar. He tells Swarup Damodar that I want you to hear, I believe his name is Gopal. Can you hear Gopal? He's learned things very nicely. So please hear his lecture on Srimad Bhagavatam. And Swarup Damodar says, we have no interest in first he says that if one hears from an impersonalist, that one can even fall from one's position in devotional service. And then Bhagavanacharya says, but we are fixed in the service of the lotus feet. That's not going to happen. And Swarup Damodar says, yes, that's true. That will not happen, but it is very annoying to us to hear, this kind of conclusions. We don't really want to hear that. So then Bhagavanacharya cancels the program. Later Gopal came, but and it says Mahaprabhu didn't really pay much attention to him. Showed him some formal, oh yes, you're very nice and like that, but didn't really expand any real interest in Gopal, because he knew that the conclusion he has is he's an impersonalist. Shastrabhuteshu ya pashyad bhagavad bhavam atmana bhutane bhagavati atmani esha bhagavatotama. A person advanced in devotional service sees within everything the soul of souls, the Supreme Personality of God as Sri Krishna. Consequently, he always sees the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the cause of all causes and understands that all things are situated in him. Ishware tad adineshu balisheshu dvishatsucha prema maitri kripo pekka yakaroti samadhyama. An intermediate second-class devotee who shows love for the Supreme Lord is friendly to all devotees and is very merciful to neophytes and ignorant people. Or an intermediate second-class devotee shows love for the Lord, is friendly to all devotees, and is very merciful to neophytes and ignorant people. The intermediate devotee neglects those who are envious of devotional service. Archayam eva haraye pujam ya shradaye hate natad bhakteshu chanyeshu sabhakta prakrita smrita. A prakrita bhakta or materialistic devotee does not purposefully study the Shastra and try to understand the actual standard of pure devotional service. Consequently, he does not show proper respect to advanced devotees. He may, however, follow the regulative principles learned from his spiritual master or from his family who worships the deity. He is to be considered on the material platform, although he is trying to advance in devotional service. Such a person is a bhakta prai, neophyte devotee, or bhakta bas, for he is a little enlightened by Vaishnava philosophy. So this was how Ramai used to answer the phone. If you called him, he'd answer. He'd say, someone would call me, say, you know, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat, Seva Ashram, this is Bhakta Prai. Or he'd say, Bhakta Bas. It was among the humor and humility of a very nice devotee. And maybe his Prakrita Bhakta or materialistic devotee does not purposely study the Shastra and try to understand the actual standard of pure devotional service. Consequently, he does not show proper respect to advanced devotees. He may, however, follow the regulated principles learned from his spiritual master or from his family who worships the deity. He is to be considered on the material platform, although he is trying to advance in devotional service. Such a person is a bhakta prai, neophyte devotee, or bhakta bas, for he is a little enlightened by Vaishnava philosophy. Perhaps he spoke that way because he's considering he's engaged in deity service. So, this verse talks about that. But his way of worshiping the deity was also very nice, because I remember towards the end, shortly before he left this world, he said, "Oh, I had the most wonderful dream." He told. I said, What did you dream? He said, "Oh, I dreamed I was worshiping the deities." That was his very nice dream. Yeah. Sarva Mahaguna Gana Vaishnava Sharire Krishna Bhakti Krishnara Guna Sakali Sanchare. A Vaishnava is one who has developed all good transcendental qualities. All the good qualities of Krishna gradually develop in Krishna's devotee. Vaishnava is one who has developed all good transcendental qualities. All the good qualities of Krishna gradually develop in Krishna's devotee. Mm-hmm. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvar gunais tatra samasate sura harava bhaktasya kuto mahadguna manoratena sati davato bahi. And one who has unflinching devotional faith in Krishna, all the good qualities of Krishna and the demigods are consistently manifest. However, he who has no devotion to the Lord has no good qualifications, because he is engaged by mental concoction in material existence, which is the external feature of the Lord. Manoratena is riding on the chariot of the mind. Carried by the mind. To one who has unflinching devotional faith in Krishna, all the good qualities of Krishna and the demigods are consistently manifest. However, he who has no devotion to the Supreme Lord has no good qualifications, because he is engaged by mental concoction in material existence, which is the external feature of the Lord. So apparently these persons, this will refer to many persons in this material world, seem very stalwart, very fine persons, very intelligent and everything like that. But so can it be understood easily by us that they have no good qualifications because they're engaged in mental speculation in material existence, which is the external feature of the Lord. They don't have any faith in devotional service. They don't take to devotional service, and they're not interested in devotional service. But apparently, they're very advanced in so many ways, and they may seem like very kind and altruistic persons. But ultimately, There is one difficulty in there, that not having some, what is the word, basis, some base to stand on in devotion, then ultimately they can be carried away by the mind in any different direction. Say sab guna hoy Vaishnava lakan, sab kahan ajay kore digdarshan. All these transcendental qualities are the characteristics of pure Vaishnavas, and they cannot be fully explained. But I shall try to point out some of the important qualities. Kripalu akritadroha satya sarasam nidosha badanya mridu suchiya kinchan sarvopakaraka shanta krishnaika sharan akamaniya stira vijita sadguna mita bhuk apramata manada amani gambhira karuna maitra kavi dakamoni. Devotees are always merciful, humble, truthful, equal to all, faultless, magnanimous, mild, and clean. They are without material possessions, and they perform well for work for everyone. They are peaceful, surrendered to Krishna, and desireless. They are indifferent to material acquisitions and are fixed in devotional service. They completely control the 6 bad qualities, lust, anger, greed, and so forth. They eat only as much as required, and they are not inebriated. Means they're not stoned. They're respectful, grave. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. They're not inebriated. They're respectful, grave, compassionate, and without false prestige. They're friendly, poetic, expert, and silent. So, devotees are always merciful, humble, truthful, equal to all, faultless, magnanimous, mild, and clean. They are without material possessions, and they perform well for a work for everyone. They are peaceful, surrendered to Krishna, and desireless. They are indifferent to material acquisitions and are fixed in devotional service. They completely control the 6 bad qualities, lust, anger, greed, and so forth. They eat only as much as required, and they are not inebriated. They are respectful, grave, compassionate, and without false prestige. They are friendly, poetic, expert, and silent. Titikshava karunika surida sarvadehinam ajata shastrava shanta sadava sarubhushana. Devotees are always tolerant, forbearing, and very merciful. They are the well-wishers of every living entity. They follow the scriptural injunctions, and because they have no enemies, they are very peaceful. These are the decorations of devotees. Mahat sevam dvaram ahor vimuktes tamo dvaram yoshitam sangi sangam mahantaste samachita prashanta vimanyava sudrida sadavo ye. It is the verdict of all shastras and great personalities that service to a pure devotee is the path of liberation. By contrast, association with materialistic people who are attached to material enjoyment and women is the path to darkness. Those who are actually devotees are broad-minded, equal to everyone, and very peaceful. They never become angry, and they are friendly to all living entities. So this means they're not interested in mundane attractions, the association of man and woman. This is not the center of their existence. Rather, they have a different perspective. It is verdict of all shastras and great personalities that service to a pure devotee is the path of liberation. By contrast, association with materialistic people who are attached to material enjoyment and women is the path of darkness. Those who are actually devotees are broad-minded, equal to everyone, and very peaceful. They never become angry, and they are friendly to all living entities. Well, the point is that they're not on this plane of exploitation. They're not just interested in exploiting other persons. That's the quality of a devotee. Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula Hoy Sadhu Sangha Krishna Prema Janmete Ho Puna Mukya Anga. The root cause of devotional service to Lord Krishna is association with advanced devotees. Even when one's dormant love for Krishna awakens, association with devotees is still most essential. And in his talks with Ramananda Roy, Mahaprabhu asked, what is the greatest source of unhappiness? What is the greatest unhappiness? And Ramananda Roy says, apart from separation from the devotees, I know of no great unhappiness. So, anyway. So I'm going to stop here and we'll continue with what happens at 8:30. Huh? Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jarabaya Nama Jarabaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Gadadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatam Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Echai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Echai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Jao Ete Vignana Shabhishta Puran Echai Gosai Jar Muri Charana Kasavar Padarenu Mora Panchagra Kare Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas Janame More Abhilash Echai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas Radha Krishna Nitya-lila Korila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Aman Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Korean Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamura Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Madhya-lila. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriya. Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naradhamodam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Paravajaka Charyasta Tara Sadashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Paravajaka Charyasta Tara Sadashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Rakakshira Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Sananta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishordas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namachar Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Premzigo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Bhagwat Ki Jai. Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Vishvavaranya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmalacharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Ram Mayapur Ki Jai. Aparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Shri Koladvip Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Sevashram Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopi Govardhan Sham Kana Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Jo Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Sripad Bhakti Kamal Tyagi Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rajaram Prabhu Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Jayam Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj Ki Jai.